Welcome to the Ion Annapolis Local Business Spotlight. There are thousands of locally owned businesses in the area, some small and some large. Some you may know and others you don't. But one thing they all have in common is a great story, and we want to share it with you. Join us every Saturday as we talk to the founders, the owners, and the managers of local businesses you have come to know and love, and those you will come to know and love. Now here's your host, John Frenay, with this week's Local Business Spotlight.
Well, if you ever go down Hudson Street and you get lost in all of those little buildings that all the automotive things, looking for vintage vibe finds, continue to look, because this is the coolest little store you're going to find. A little bit off of the beaten path, but just you go down Hudson Street all the way down to the end, take a left and wander around the first building that you come to. It's on the back side. It sort of overlooks Route 50. Not the best view in the world. We're here with Allison and Matt, who is with Artfully Acquired and Vintage Vibe Finds, which is sort of two stores in one, I guess. So thank you guys for inviting me down this morning when you're closed and to be able to look through everything here. And it's pretty exciting to see a new business. You said you've only been open like 3 months?
Yes, that's right. Yep, we've been about 3 months.
Well, what possessed you to get into it? Bad drugs, good whiskey? I mean, a little bit of both.
I started an eBay store in 2019 and have been steadily selling there. And Allison had a shop in her house, which was in one room. That she took for appointment only. Customers would come in, buy furniture, clothing, jewelry, and she sold a lot through Facebook.
Moderately sketchy, but yeah, I get it. That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be dangerous to have, somebody coming into your house that you don't necessarily know. I think that's got to be a concern, certainly.
Well, that's when you check out their profile beforehand.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you've got two stores, one in your home and one online that you're shipping, and we just made the jump into a retail location?
Yeah, I had 3 storage units that I did my business out of, which turned into I need more space and I need to be able to sell to the public. So decided to open a shop in Annapolis.
Well, that probably really makes some sense because, I know the storage units, they're great for like $1 a month for the first month and all the little specials that they put out there. But as you said, if you've got 3 or 4 of them, or as you continue to grow, at some point it gets to the point where it says, well, gosh, I think, maybe paying rent for a physical location that we can do something retail. And I'm looking at the store here and parties in the back, I guess, and the businesses in the front. You're divided in half. So I imagine in the back is all your back end work that you do.
Yeah, there's a lot of storage and we have mostly my eBay inventory is back there.
Are you guys considered sort of one store? I know probably on a legal aspect, you're 2 companies and everything else, but similar products, right? Or so what all is it that you sell here?
So we sell curated vintage home decor, art, pottery, clothing, jewelry, lamps, so much more. A little bit of everything to add to a little character to your home.
I was going to say, you mentioned a little bit of character because as I look around the store, you've got racks of wonderful clothing, you've got shelves and everything else. And it's not something that I'm coming in to furnish my home with. I'm not going to come in here and be able to get a couch, a lamp, a table and have it all.
Lamp, yes.
Okay, a lamp. But I'll say accessories to be able to accessorize your house. And there's such cool stuff and such eclectic little stuff as I look around here. You've got prints, you've got paintings, you've got as you said, lamps, and I see a bust of, I think, Caesar up on, up on the shelf. Just really, a frog. And there's just all sorts of really cool little knickknacks that are just really kind of awesome there. You had the eBay store and you had that, but prior to that, were you always into the retail mode, or was this sort of
I've always worked retail all my life, and always been an entrepreneur at heart, and constantly finding the beauty in things and adding it to my home and or reselling, being able to
well, see, you got to have a special eye to be able to find what's going to move, what's going to sell. And I mean, I think that's got to be really difficult to do just because, I mean, obviously taste change and everything else. I mean, you might think, oh, wow, I need this doily. I'll say I hate doilies personally.
We don't sell doilies.
Good. But you know, this may be, but it may sit here for months and months and months. And obviously that's a cost to you there. So, I mean, how do you curate and how do you figure out what to bring into the store and where do you get it?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's really just, that fits into a style that I like in hopes that others will love it too. It's more of just, I see something and I'm like, that's really cool. That's unique. That's different. That's something that I, would love to have, in our shop.
Where do you acquire them from? I mean, do you, is this yard sales and estate sales or is this, is there some big warehouse in Montana where it's, vintage stuff to?
Right. So a little bit of everything. So from yard sales to estate sales to thrift stores, a little bit of everywhere. We source constantly, and it can be within the area. It could be outside of the area. I've traveled up to 2 hours to pick up some fabulous vintage pieces.
You know what I heard? Not so much for vintage, but what I heard a great deal is that if you were to rent a U-Haul here and go down to Florida and go to the estate sales and stuff like that, because you've got such a population that's moving out of their own homes. As supposedly as we age, the story goes that we leave the north and we go to south and we live in Florida and then we get old and then we go into a retirement community. When they sell that house that they've got, okay, they've moved down there, they've got money, so they're buying quality stuff and they're looking to get rid of it quickly because they're going into a retirement community. And I hear that it's a great way to furnish a first house for young kids to take a U-Haul, go down there, do some estate sales and pick up really good quality furniture and bring it up. And because you can't buy, a super, super quality couch today.
That's true.
For $100.
Right. That's true. The quality of the vintage items, it was just made so much more substantial. And
what I found around here though is Baltimore, DC and Annapolis area, this triangle has a lot of history and a lot of quality items that people have got from the East Coast and brought here. So it's a lot of nice things on the East Coast.
It's a little bit of a treasure trove.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a treasure. Now, again, you've got two business areas. You've got Vintage Vibe Finds as well as Artfully Acquired. And one belongs to you and one belongs to you. But is the product is the same? Have you combined?
Yeah, I have a little bit more in the art area and some more in just the home decor. Allison has more of the jewelry and the clothing and the furniture and the home decor.
That's really where I started, was selling home decor. The jewelry just kind of came into play in the shop, and then when I was doing shows. So
okay. Mm-hmm. What sets you apart from a consignment shop other than the consignment part? You're actually purchasing inventory and selling inventory. What does set you apart there? I guess, and I'll go out on a limb and say I'm guessing it's probably the quality and the way that you're curating it, as opposed to just, hey, I got this pen I need to sell.
Exactly what you said. You couldn't have said it better. That's what I would have said. Okay.
So so that's it. And again, as we look at this, vintage has really become quite the rage lately. And I certainly don't think it is a fad just because it's been around forever. It probably waxes and wanes a little bit as it goes. But I just remember, going into the antique stores with my mom and looking at different things that were obviously not in the 60s and 70s, but way back in the, 50s, 40s, even before. I remember my grandmom's house had old furniture and everything else like that. And I'm really sort of kicking myself in the ass for probably throwing out a whole bunch of stuff that was probably very valuable. I know my 400 record albums were disposed of when I replaced them with CDs because that was the newest thing that was going to be there. And lo and behold, vinyl is back and huge. So that's the neat thing, is that if you have gotten rid of something, or if something, you come in here, you're going to find something that reminds you of your grandmother, or maybe your parents have passed or something like that. You really take a walk back in time when you come in to Vintage Vibes and Finds and Artfully Acquired as well. Talking on the Artfully Acquired side, do you deal with is any new artists, or is it just older paintings that are established, or that just stuff that you like?
Yeah, I think what I find is like something that's originally done, and I do deal with some art prints, but most of it is older vintage or antique art, stuff that I can tell that is done well and framed well and really set out to be resold and has some
Value to
qualities.
Yeah.
And some.
Matt, do you have a background in art at all, or just has it developed over time?
No, growing up though, my parents did go to a lot of yard sales, and also my dad is an art collector. Not a full-fledged.
Sort of rubbed off on you a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, so he does collect art. My mom appreciates art. I have aunts that are art teachers and artists, and growing up watching Antiques Roadshow, learning the value of certain things and the makers and the artists and the designers who created these things, you know, and what companies they worked for, what time frames. So we kind of, you learn a little bit from there, and then find those things along the way.
That's cool. I guess a question for both of you guys. What's the coolest, most amazing thing that has passed through your doors? I mean, we'll talk about the art. I mean, was there any constitutions behind, original constitutions behind some peel away Picasso or something, or a hidden, but I mean, is there anything that stands out in your mind that you're like, wow, this was such a cool item, whether you maybe still have it or maybe it's been sold or.
Yeah, I think there's been some paintings that we've found that, didn't really look like original paintings, but we found out they were, original paintings.
That's cool.
And signed, and, we find out that this artist was, somebody super well known, and they were, well documented, and have gone to auction many times and have realized big prices with that. So, and sometimes you buy something for $1 and you can sell it for over $2,000.
Yeah. Wow. I need to find out the recipe on that one. I mean, Allison, has there been anything really cool that you've brought in and out?
There's been lots of things that I've brought in and out, and some things that I was like, oh, I shouldn't have sold that because it was totally fabulous and I loved it, and I would have kept it in my home.
Do you guys?
I like to share.
Do you guys do that a lot? You find something with the thought of like, oh, this will be great in the shop, and then it's like, nah, it's not gonna make it to the shop. It's gonna stay right at home.
Yeah, and then sometimes I'm able to, admire it for a while, and then when I'm ready to add something new, then I can bring it into the shop and let someone else have joy from it. There's that saying, nothing haunts you like the vintage you didn't buy.
There's a limited time to snatch it. There is,
and it will stay with you if you wound up not being able to get that piece. That
it's also got to be pretty cool to be able to like constantly have your home in a sort of a state. I don't want to say a state of flux because that sounds negative, but I mean, your decor can be constantly changing as well.
Yes. It can. That's the beauty of it too. And then just adding, uniqueness to your home and your personality is really what you're doing. Is you're adding pieces that, show off your personality and what you love and what brings you happiness and joy. And that's really what it's all about. There's no right or wrong in how to decorate your home. It's really what you enjoy and what you love, and that's what you should be putting in your home.
It's funny. It's like art. I mean, I put art and wine in the same bucket for me. I don't know squat about either.
Yeah.
But when I taste it or see it, I know what I like.
Right.
And, I'll do that when, my travels, I go, oh, that's kind of a cool thing. I'll get that. That's just a memory of this trip that we took or something like that. And some people may be like, oh, well, that's kind of a weird looking thing. I said, well, but it was very cool at the time. I like it. And that's when a home's lived in, when it's, put in with the love that what turns you on, as opposed to what somebody says your home must have.
Right.
Oh, that picture must be at eye level or below. No, I want it high on the wall or whatever it may be. It's kind of neat there. Now, vintage is such, a rage. Okay. I know that you've got Sage Vintage, which is over in Eastport.
Yeah.
You've got several little shops over at like Local by Design.
Yeah.
That are there. There is the vintage shop on West Street.
All the rage.
Maryland Avenue is sort of prime, very antique-y row and everything else as well.
And there's vintage. So there's evergreen antiques and true vintage. Joanna, she's fabulous.
What's the difference between vintage and antiques? Is there a definition?
Antiques is 100 years old.
Is there a time frame?
And vintage is 20 plus years old.
Okay, so 20 to 100 is vintage.
Yeah. And then there's true vintage, which is like somewhere 50 to 80 years old, somewhere kind of like that.
Today I learned something new.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But with these other stores and stuff, have you ever done any, and I want to try to keep this as evergreen as possible, so I don't want to get into the weeds with dates and stuff like that, but do you guys work with the other ones? Because I know that, Sage Vintage shares the word vintage in their name, and they're furniture for the most part. Yes, you can get a lamp, and there's some little bit of overlap, but I know they're mostly furniture. Do you work together with other vintagers?
Yeah. So we've collaborated with some of the local vintage shops and created a list of those shops for us all to have out on our counters. So when we have customers come into the shops, we can let them know what other fabulous vintage small owned shops are along the way to go check out. We've also collaborated with Evergreen Antiques and Vintage, as well as All the Rage Vintage, to do a vintage crawl.
Cool.
And yeah.
So, the vintage crawl, is essentially a list to get to all these different stores to see the different products that they have. And
exactly. To get, to let people know that we're out there, to come see what fabulous items we have that we've sourced. And then it's just gonna be a fun day to hop to each shop, and you have a little bit of fun to go through. And then
All the Rage Vintage, which is right on West Street, right by the Lighthouse Bistro and Leo. Evergreen Antiques on Maryland Avenue, and True Vintage, and then Vintage Vibe Finds and Artfully Acquired right here on Hudson Street. That's fun.
yeah.
And as a bonus, I don't think there's one darn tariff applied to anything in this store.
Yes. I've been having my friends send me.
This is a tariff-free shopping here.
Yes, exactly.
Enough.
Vintage.
Well, you guys are brand new into here. You said 3 months ago that you opened the door and cracked the lock. What's been your biggest challenge? And you guys probably both have different opinions on that one.
Yeah, I don't. We're always growing and learning. There's always going to be some challenges, but no challenge that you can't persevere with. I know we're kind of hidden, and we've been calling ourselves a hidden gem in Annapolis. Been doing a little bit of a journey to get to us, but true vintage people will find their way. And then once you find us, then you know where we are. And then you'll hopefully continue to come check us out periodically, because we're constantly adding more vintage to the shop.
Well, the journey is worth the trip. You got to get there. And actually, if on your way out, if you want to stop at the Lighthouse, you can even make a donation or contribution at the Lighthouse Homeless Shelter, which is a great another resource that we have in the city as well. Right on the same street, just go all the way down to the end. Matt, did you find any struggles or challenges opening up other than moving it from your storage units into?
That was a bit of a task, yes. But just getting it all set up and finding what is selling and what the customers locally want, because with selling through eBay, you're really selling to the whole world.
Sure.
and what price points people are looking for, and basically just arranging things to make it,
Do you still sell through eBay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you do have a global audience as well.
Yeah.
For that. That's cool.
Yeah.
What are your most popular products here? As I look around, okay, you've got home decor, you've got art, and you've got clothing, and more to a little bit of a lesser degree, furniture. small furniture.
Mhm.
What's getting everybody excited here in Annapolis?
I think small things people like, and they're able to give gifts. People come in and buy a gift for somebody. People love buying the clothes. The purses go well. The jewelry is a big hit. There's a lot of people come back to shop for jewelry, art and mirrors and some furniture, kind of all around. Unique items, really.
Is it difficult to get the pulse of the community? I mean, you said you've got to, find the stuff that the community wants to buy.
Yes.
And, say you bring in some, spandex bell bottoms with polka dots or something like that. And you find out that, okay, that's not resonating with puckered up Annapolis.
Right.
Yeah.
And so how difficult is it to find what really gets people excited?
Right. Well, I think our vibe is we're trying to, we're curating and sourcing items that can fit in everyday homes, in everyday life. From the clothing to like more timeless pieces is what we're looking at. That's more of our style, our vibe.
And
That's
also in Annapolis, there's always the classic, nautical feel.
Sure.
And people love that type of stuff.
That's funny. I always said that when the mayor put that mural up on Tsunami and caused such a ruckus before he was elected mayor, I said, if you had just painted like a sailboat and a guy with a lab and a Sperry's,
yes,
wouldn't have been a problem at all.
Yeah.
It's just that Jeff painted a little bit of a dark kind of a make you think kind of a mural as opposed to the Sperry and the. But no, nautical always has a place here in Annapolis, which is certainly there. What makes you guys get up in the morning and just like, man, I love what I do. Because you have to do that. Okay. This is not, retail is not for the faint of heart, certainly. And owning your own business is not for the faint of heart. So there's got to be something that is like, this really makes me get up in the morning.
Honestly, for me, it's having the joy of customers come in and building those friendships. Because it's not just a customer coming in. It's, a vintage lover coming into our shop and, enjoying what we have, whether it resonates with them as nostalgia or, just something that they absolutely love, and just building those friendships with the community, being able to have those conversations with them, and making those connections. Like that's what I absolutely love. I had that in my house. The people that would walk through my doors, it was fabulous because, it always seemed to end, we connected so much and then it always seemed to end with a hug going out the door, which I absolutely love though, because that means that, we just resonated with each other. We share the same love, for vintage. And then being able to have now in the shop, more accessibility for people to come find us, when we're open. It's just been great. So I love it. I also like, I love to propagate and I have cuttings of plants and, what I like to do is share those with, our customers and, whether they buy something or not, if they have an interest in a cutting, I am more than happy to share that with them. So I'm constantly propagating, at my house and then bringing in those plants. Within the store, we have, we want it to be more of a home feel. We want it to be a welcoming feel when you come into our shop and that small, hometown vibe, retail vibe. So that's what I love about this. And that's why I love coming in here. And then also spending time with Matt.
And Matt, what gets you up here? It's coming time to spend time with Allison.
Yeah. Having a business with your girlfriend is a great thing. There's a lot of moments that you share and times, that we're figuring things out together and learning, the whole, finding the items out in the rough, finding them, and knowing that some person's going to love this item. That gives you a little bit of a high, trying to, find things that people really would appreciate, and then bringing them in, and then actually going ahead and then selling them, then you get another bonus on the end of that.
I've got to think that it's got to be much easier. Okay. I mean, you've got the, solopreneurs or entrepreneurs are just the same person that comes out. I mean, I've got an idea and I'm going forward with it, and I'm really sort of tunnel visioned with my idea. And I mean, I think, Allison, if you would come in here solo with your idea, this would be a completely different store. And I think, Matt, if you would come in here solo, it probably would have been a completely different store. But, you touched on that you're able to run things off of each other, and you've got certain skills and observations and knowledge coming into this that is completely different from Allison's. And together, that's sort of what makes it all work.
Yeah. Growing and putting it all together and, listening to each other and basically collaborating to where you want something to look like this, and something might be important to you, something might be important to her, and you kind of negotiate on. But a lot of the feel is Allison.
I was going to ask, who's the stager? It's Allison.
Allison has developed all this stuff. I said a little of this, little of that, but yes, no, most of it is her deal. So I am just in there in helping her show the store with different things.
Fantastic. Well, I do encourage anybody to go check out the two websites. You've got vintagevibefinds.com, which is very easy. It's the name of the store as well as artfullyacquired.com. And again, it's back here on 40 Hudson Street, which is right at the very tail end of Hudson Street. If you crash through a fence or a guardrail or whatever the heck they have and end up on Route 50, went a little too far, get the tow truck to bring you back up into the parking lot, and it's here. And what are your hours? Your limited hours, I know.
Right. So we're open Thursday through Sunday, 11 to 6, and also by appointment the rest of the week. And our hours might change a little bit, have some extended hours.
Okay. So, and you can make an appointment. I mean, if I want to come in and browse or something like that, and provided it's not 2 a.m. or something like that, you'll pretty much accommodate it.
Exactly. For that personal shopping experience. Yes.
And I will say, again, as I'm looking around here, I've got right here on my elbow, I'm going to take a picture of some of these on my way out, because this is right up my girlfriend's alley as far as the necklaces that go here. But a neat selection of vintage jewelry. In the case here, I mean, this looks like silver sterling, is it?
Yes, it's vintage sterling silver, rings and necklaces, bracelets, earrings
brooches
as well. Not so much brooches, but I mean, I have.
Or is that a brooch or a cameo? Cameo, is that the word? I'm showing my ignorance here.
No, you're fine. But no, I mainly focus more on the rings and the bracelets, earrings, and necklaces.
There's a lot of turquoise.
There are some turquoise. So I actually found, I was actually able to source a lot of that beautiful turquoise from another shop that used to be downtown Annapolis 20 plus years ago. Unfortunately, they're no longer there, but she still had a fabulous collection left over that I was able to now give new life to.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And, but I'm constantly sourcing to find unique pieces that you're not really going to be able to find anywhere else. So basically, we're doing the sourcing for you so that it's all in one shop.
And I mean, just little things, postcards. You've got Playboy magazines. Funny, somebody gave me one of those as a gift several years ago, and they're like, well, I said, this is amazing, from 1960 or
yeah. So the 70s. So I'm a 70s baby. So 70s really resonate with me. So the 70s, the covers were just absolutely gorgeous. They're just works of art. So
well, you had Vargas, who also did a lot of the artwork within the magazines way back when. And I mean, I'm assuming it's a he. I think it was Matt Vargas, to be honest with you. But I mean, his paintings are just renowned outside of the Playboy world. Really kind of a very unique story. I challenge anybody to come in here and leave without saying, oh my gosh, look at this, or oh my gosh, this is really cool. And certainly, hey, we need to get this. And those are the three comments you're probably going to make when you come here. And, I want to thank you guys for, bringing some more coolness to Annapolis. And congratulations on the opening and the grand opening and everything else. And we'll definitely be back. And I would like to check in with you guys in about a year to see how things are going, whether we've gotten the laughing fits under control. Okay, so we got 12 months to get on top of that. Okay, Allison?
So the beauty of this space, just so you know, is we had this wall built. It's on wheels and we can shift it back. So as we grow in this space, we can
Oh, that's really smart.
More.
Whose idea was that?
Our showroom will grow. When our inventory in the back, online inventory kind of gets depleted or it diminishes, we're going to push this wall back and open the store to where the showroom's a little bit bigger.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. We had a friend built it. It's a slat wall and it works out really well.
That's a brilliant idea. And then, ultimately if the showroom gets so big that, in the back it's just a desk.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just to write the checks, and I guess we don't write checks anymore.
But we love this space. It has just such a great feel to it. Just the location. We got this industrial look to it, mixed in with the vintage. So.
Well, your chairs and the furniture out front is really very cool, and that's sort of what the signal. If you're driving around the building looking for it, look for the chairs and look for something out front that says, "Hey, this is the place to be."
Yeah, we're Unit 107 on the back side of Building 40.
And then, again, when you said you have your weekend events and stuff like that, you're probably very primed for it just because most of the businesses here are not here on the weekends.
Exactly. Yes. Saturday and Sundays, because we're in an auto industrial park, they're closed. And so we pretty much have the parking area to ourselves, and it's fabulous.
Fantastic. Well, I do encourage everybody, vintagevibefinds.com. and artfullyacquired.com. But more importantly, get down to 40 Hudson Street and check it out because I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. And I want to thank you guys so much for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to this week's Local Business Spotlight. Please make sure to visit eyeonannapolis.net for all your local news, events, and opinion. And in case you haven't already, please subscribe to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief, where we bring you all the day's local news direct to your phone, tablet, or computer in about 10 minutes. It comes to you at 6 a.m. every Monday through Friday, and you can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.